Hello and welcome back to the Frugal Granny UK channel. I'm Frugal Granny, my name's Ali. I'm a 64-and-a-half-year-old pre-retiree and I'm going to be retiring from my job in higher education admin at the end of June. This channel is documenting the weeks running up to my retirement and also afterwards when I will be living on a significantly decreased income. So today is our second coffee and catch up, and I'm going to update you a little bit as to what's happened this week to move me along my let's get to retirement journey. Excuse me for looking off to the side. I just need to keep an eye on my my notes there. Well, I think the thing that most of you probably want to know is how did my hospital appointment go today? And I'm really glad to say that it went incredibly well indeed. I'm back on the watch and wait list, no treatment is needed, and I will be going back to see the consultant again in 6 months' time. She has said that it's very difficult to tell how things will go, but they're going to keep an eye on me, and if any intervention is needed, it will be radiotherapy and not an operation, for which I'm really grateful. I really don't want to go under again. I really don't. So that's all good news, and thank you so much for your best wishes. I'm sorry for those who are hoping for something a little bit more dramatic, and I'm just very grateful that it's not going to be something dramatic. So thank you very much. So I'm just going to put that on a back burner now and get on with my life in the interim. The only thing I am thinking is that it might have some implications for the fixed term annuity that I'm thinking of getting with my current workplace pension. I've had a little bit of a think about it in the car today, and I think I might still go for 10 years rather than 15. But we'll just see what the annuity company administrator person says when they actually get in touch. I've not heard anything back from them yet, not at all. So I'm still sort of watching and waiting there as well. So that's two things that we're watching and waiting on. After the hospital, I got back in my car. I'd managed to find somewhere to park which was free. I have a little secret parking place for that kind of appointment, and went into the town centre, and I've had to pay £8 to park for 6 hours, which has not pleased me very much, but I really did not want to be on my bicycle today. It just really was. The thought of it was too much. So I took £8 out of my cash stash, fed the coins into the meter, and I'll get £10 out of my bank tomorrow and pay my cash stash back. So goodbye coffee at the department. It was really pretty weird, to be honest with you, having a goodbye 2 weeks before you're actually going, but it was nice to see people. There were some people who weren't there that I would have liked to have seen, which was a shame that I didn't see them. And they said some nice things about me, and they gave me a gift of some nice smelly stuff, body wash, hand lotion in geranium and lavender. They obviously think I'm getting old, geranium and lavender, but it was very nice thought of them. It was very nice, and I'm going to look forward to using those things and smelling nice for people at the supermarket. So what else has happened this week? Well, I've had a letter from my water company, and you may remember that I'm in dispute with them about my monthly payment. They're charging me £58 a month at the moment, which is almost but not quite double the £32 a month they were charging me before. And the statement says, surprise, surprise, my water usage has decreased by 5 meters cubed. Well, I'm really not surprised about that at all, because as I explained to you, I was doing a lot of laundry for my terminally ill dog. I was bathing her every day, and the fact that I've not been doing that since the 17th of March has obviously contributed significantly to the decrease of 5 meters cubed. I've also been using bath water to flush the loo. I've got 4 buckets in the bathroom, which is not very aesthetically pleasing, but it also seems to be doing the trick. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to read the meter in the pavement on the 5th of June, ring them up, and then we should have an exact monthly reading, and hopefully they will agree to reducing my monthly payment. It looks like I still owe them £44.07, so they'll probably have to accommodate that in any changes as well. But that's moving in the right direction, and I just need to keep up the good work with the grey water recycling. The other thing that's come about this week in terms of utilities is the council have been in touch and said that they've noted that my son will stop being a student at the end of the month, and thus my council tax, single person council tax reduction will end, and my council tax bill is going to be going up about £45 a month. My son will eventually be paying that, but I'm not sure I will get that in the first month, because I'm not sure, neither is he yet, quite when his contract with his employer starts. I mean, he's working for them on a freelancing basis at the moment, but he will be on a contract at some point, and that's when he will start contributing to the council tax. Also this week, a letter from the bank saying, and surprise, surprise, or rather not surprise, surprise, due to the change in Bank of England base rates, we are lowering the interest rates on all your savings accounts. Yippee! So I think I'm going to be losing about either 0.45 or 0.5% across all my accounts. I'm not sure what that means in terms of pounds. I haven't had a minute to sit down and work it out, and do I really care? No, because there's nothing I can do about it. So we will just see what that means when it happens. So, you know, there's some things you really can't do anything about, so there's not much point faffing, and there's no way I'm going to be moving these accounts anywhere. So basically it is what it is. Excuse me for having a drink. My throat's still very sore. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a bit fried. It's not put on or intentional. It's just my terrible sore throat at the moment, but it is getting better. And there's been a lot of talking today, obviously, what with the hospital and the leaving coffee and things. Right, so what else has happened this week? I've had the 3rd annuity payment from my first workplace pension, and that's gone into a savings account, because I'm trying to build up a buffer in case things are not all in place by the beginning of July. So that's the same as it was last month, but both of those payments are slightly more than they were the month before, because there has been an index linked increase. So the annuity from the other pension should come in at the end of next week when I get my office salary as well. And in terms of income, really, really good news. I've managed to land 5 extra shifts in June through the extra hours app at the supermarket. So that's going to make a massive difference in terms of paying for things that are coming up. And I'm really pleased about that. I think I'm probably all booked up for June now. I think if I start putting anything else in, I'm going to be eating into essential free time. I think it's very important, I've realised, to make sure that I budget free time for myself in terms of extra supermarket shifts once I've finished at the office. And I do keep a spreadsheet so I can see where the gaps are. And I need to learn just to be protective of those gaps to some extent, especially, and this is the other bit of good news, now that I've landed a new contract with the supermarket. They've given me an extra 3 3/4 hours a week as of the 16th of June. So that is absolutely fantastic. I'm really pleased about that. And I've done the projected income calculations on that for August, because in August we get a slight pay rise to 12.60 £12.65 an hour. So if I use those figures with the new contract hours that I've got, but admittedly keep the tax rate at 20%, because at this point I don't know what the implications of my P45 from the office will have on my supermarket job. So let's just keep the tax at 20% for the moment. If I keep it there, then I think the supermarket income baseline is going to be about £840 a month, which is absolutely fantastic. That's about 840. That really can't be right. Just let me check. It sounds a little bit much to me. Maybe it was 740. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Let's just have a look and see. Just scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Oh, £830.66. Well, we can forget about the 66 because this is a bit of a guesstimate, but 830 is great. So that's a good 200 more than my current baseline, and I'm finding that quite hard to believe. So I may just check those figures later. But anyway, the 3 3¾ hours a week extra shifts are going to make a big difference to me, and I'm really very grateful for that. And they're at a time of the week that's not really going to impact me enjoying my retirement life. I think they're going to be late Monday afternoon, early evening, so I'll be back in time to make a nice meal for everybody. Right, so that's that. What else has happened this week? I've made 3 sales on Vinted. I've only got 2 more things left now that I want to sell. Those 3 sales brought in £38, and I also bought one thing on Vinted, which is a evening dress for the college reunion that I've booked to go to at the end of July. Actually, if I move sideways slightly, you can see it there hanging on the bookcase. Okay, I'm going to move back now. I'm really pleased with that. I haven't had the guts to try it on yet. Just keeping my fingers crossed that it will be all right. So that's that. So I've moved the money from the Vinted sales minus the money for the purchase into my personal savings account. I'm keeping that there. The other thing that's happened this week is I managed to get a lot of free bedding plants from the park, because as I was walking Kitty one day, I saw the park keeper digging up some daisies in the formal garden to replace them with some summer bedding, and I asked if I could have some, and he said yes. So I brought home a big bag of daisies that I can put in my garden. So I'm really pleased about that. That was a small win, but one that makes me very happy. Hang on a minute. So then the next thing that's happened, YouTube update. I have now managed to get the PIN for my monetization, so I've now been able to verify my address, and the monetization is happening. So I've been getting revenue accruing for about a week now, and it says here on this tab, estimated revenue between Wednesday the 14th of May was nothing, so the first day would have been Thursday the 15th of May, and so far it's running to Tuesday the 20th of May. So in 5 days, the estimated revenue, just for transparency's sake, is £107.90, which is quite amazing, actually. Got to bear in mind that may not be the value that they end up paying me, and also I will have to take 20% off that for tax, but I'm still really pleased with that, and that's going to make a big difference. I think I've still got a few tasks to do, but when I go onto the Earn tab, it just says there is nothing more for you to do yet. We will let you know when you need to do the next thing. So I'm just waiting for whatever that next thing is. Right, and the other thing that's happened this week is it's supermarket payday weekend. So last night at midnight, my pay slip became available to view. And what have I done with it? Oh, here it is. So my pay from the supermarket for the 4 weeks up to, well, it will end on, the pay period ends on Sunday actually, so that period is £843.59, which I'm really pleased about. It's a little bit more than I'd anticipated, because I'd forgotten that I volunteered to stay on an extra few hours the other Saturday, and I was like, why have I got this extra money? And then I remembered that I'd volunteered to stay on, and so that was the extra £43, because I think I was only anticipating 800-ish pounds, but there's a bit more than I thought. Right, so what's going to happen to that £843.59, you might ask? Well, no saving this month, unfortunately, because I am trying to pay off various things before my retirement date hits. So the first thing that's getting paid off is the penultimate payment on a laptop. So that's payment 14 out of 15, £50. That will go onto my 0% credit card tomorrow once the money hits my bank account, and that will leave £50 left to pay off the laptop next month, and then it's done. Then £75 is going into my firewood sinking fund, so that will be payment 10 out of 12 for the year, and once I've made payment 12 out of 12, I will order the year's worth of firewood and stack that in my woodshed. Then £50 is going towards the work phone, and I know some of you have queried the work phone. Why do I need a work phone? Why am I paying so much, etc, etc. Okay, in the spirit of transparency, it's not my phone, it's one I pay for one of my adult kids so that they can do their work effectively, and as I committed to that before I decided to retire, and I'm a woman of my word, I will be continuing to gift that to them for the duration of the contract. So I hope that puts that little query to bed. Then I am going to be putting £500 towards the final renovation project. That would have gone into the exterior renovation sink fund, but the contractor came round the other day and said he needed to pay the scaffolder next week, because they're going to be moving the scaffolding to my property next Wednesday, and he needs to give the scaffolder £500. So rather than putting it in the sink fund and then taking out again and losing one withdrawal, because I can only make 4 withdrawals a year from that fund without losing the interest, so rather than doing that, I'm going to leave the money in my bank account until next week and then move it to the contractor so that he can pay the scaffolder. Sorry about the screaming outside. It's school come out time, school home time. That's it. There are kids running down the street. Right, then £50 will be going to my college reunion event ticket, which is sat on my credit card, and £75 towards the same event for a room for the night, because I certainly will not be driving back afterwards. And then that leaves £43.59, and £33.43 of that will go towards the 5-tier plant house I bought from B&Q earlier this month, and that leaves £10.16. Now what's going to happen to that? Well, once I have given the contractor the money for the scaffolding, let me just scroll across here and down, I will owe him a balance of £2,708.38. So that £10.16 will go into the exterior renovation sinking fund to cover the £838, which leaves me having to find £2,700 for him. So any of odd pence that's left there will go into my emergency fund or my personal savings. So the 2,700, I can hear you asking, where's that coming from? Well, when I get paid for the office job next week, £500 will come out of that, which leaves me with 2,200 to find, and that is already sat in my exterior renovation sinking fund. So that expense is now covered, but obviously I've not handed it over yet, but it's all there waiting and ready to go. So that's another really big rock in the jar on my getting ready to retire journey. So when we get to the supermarket salary allocation for next month, things will be looking a little bit more predictable, and there will be some spare money for things that are happening over the summer that are once-offs, but we'll talk about that when we get nearer the time. So what else this week? Yeah, I decided, and this is probably a little bit rash, to do a big shopping haul this weekend because there are quite a lot of international foods on offer at the supermarket at the moment, and they are things that we use. And it's also, being supermarket payday weekend, my discount is 15% this weekend as opposed to 10%. So it makes sense to take advantage of that while it's there. So what I've done is I've bought a £100 gift card through my office benefits website at 4% discount. So I've got a £100 gift card for the supermarket at £96. So that saved me £4, and I am going to go on Saturday morning and shop to a pre-constructed list to the value of £96 for things for the store cupboard. So hopefully on Saturday I will be able to film that haul for you and post it on Saturday evening before I actually go to my shift. Yeah, I've put that gift card on my credit card. It will not incur any interest because it has gone on the credit card after the statement was made up for last month, and it will get paid for by my next supermarket salary, which will come in before the statement gets made up for the coming month. So no interest will be incurred. I'm just basically kicking that payment down the line for a few weeks, and once I've retired, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that anymore, but I have decided that I'm going to take advantage of the discounts this week and do that maybe this one last time. So I'll show you that shopping haul on Wednesday. So it's been quite a full-on week this week, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of good news, the supermarket, the hospital, even the water bill in a sense is good news. So that's all fantastic. Things have moved along quite significantly this week. Obviously still waiting to hear from the annuity administrator person. Hopefully I'll hear from them next week. I personally think they're beginning to cut it quite fine, but I gather from people I've spoken to at work at the office that this is quite normal. It's they're renowned for it, so it's a good job I've decided to put a little bit of a buffer in place. But anyway, I think that's probably enough waffling from me for now. So thanks for popping by for a catch up. If you've got any comments, please put them below. Give it a like if you like it, and if you're not subscribed, please think about doing so. That would be wonderful. And I'll see you again on Saturday for a bigger than usual shopping haul perhaps. Okay, thanks for calling by. I'll see you soon. Bye bye now.